Hi everyone, and we're getting closer to crowning the WNBA champion. This postseason has brought us thrilling plays, record-breaking performances, and some heartbreaking losses. We have plenty to discuss tonight, including last night's matchup between New York and Las Vegas, Connecticut and Minnesota, the best matchup for the Liberty, and our predictions for the finals. Welcome back to Penn State Sports Night. I'm your host, Kiera Baker, joined alongside Julia Henry and Chris Vadnais. So let's dive right into the fun. So Julia, I want to start off with you first. I want to talk about the New York Liberty's win against the Aces in that series. We know they were the top matchup in that series. So what did you think about their overall win?
Yeah, for the Liberty, this was a revenge matchup. They lost in the 2023 finals 3-1 that series to the Aces. Jonquel Jones of the Liberty spoke about how this was a rite of passage for them, beating the Aces and the semifinals. The way it worked out for them, the Aces not having that great of a season, dropping to that lower seed and playing them in the semifinals really was the advantage of the Liberty. And they've also done well with Leonie Fiebich, who was drafted in 2020, came over from Germany for the first time this season, her rookie season, and she's really been able to play whatever role. You know, she's come off the bench, she's played as a starter, she's been able to do it all for the Liberty in this season, and the Liberty also defensively have a great team. They have Fiebich, who's 6'4", Brianna Stewart, who's 6'4", Jones is 6'6". They're a big team and can really clog up that paint. And the other thing is, in that final game of this series on Sunday, the Aces are the league's highest scoring team in the league in the regular season. They averaged about 86 points per game, and the Liberty held them to their lowest total score all season, just 62 points, and that really helped them secure the win.
Yeah, the Liberty have had their foot on the gas from day one. They weren't slacking off in games in the regular season. They really were looking for that number one seed. Hopefully, I assumed that they wanted to play the Aces in the finals. That's not how that worked out. They ended up playing them just now in the semifinals. And speaking on that, they're now 5-1 in the postseason. They just put away the defending two-time champions, back-to-back champions, and the soon-to-be unanimous MVP in Asia Wilson. I mean, that's nothing to shy away from. That is an incredible feat. And then speaking more on the players themselves, the core of their offense, Sabrina and Brianna Stewart, they've looked great. They've been consistent throughout the entire postseason. I know Sabrina had a bit of a hiccup in Game 3 against the Aces. She didn't drop that many points, but she bounced right back. She was 4 for 4 in the first quarter of that Game 4. And I mean, she's looked great. And aside from that, further, deeper into their bench, their supporting cast has been able to rise up on the days that maybe, Stewart or Ionescu has not been able to produce as much as they would have liked. And to see a third, fourth option being able on any given night to rise up and be that one or two option for the night is really something you want to look for in a championship team.
Yes, and I agree with you both. We both know that this was the finals matchup last year, and New York, they had a chip on their shoulder. They came into that series wanting revenge and wanting to make it to the finals. But now I want to switch over to the other semifinals matchup between the Minnesota Lynx and the Connecticut Suns. Who do you think will be the winner of that series, knowing that tomorrow night they'll face off in Game 5?
I'm going to go with the Lynx, but for a second I want to touch on the Suns, and I want to say see what they have to offer. And the first thing is that it's been a physical series, and I think especially in the last, the Game 4, they were much far and away the more physical team in the paint. They have been able to battle it out. They spread the offense much better. And when I say spread the offense, I mean the load on offense. When you look at the box score at the end of the night, you see the Lynx. They have 2-3 people who are in that double-digit points figure. And when you look over at the Suns, they have 4, sometimes even 5 people in that double-digit bracket showing all the weapons that they have. Unfortunately, one of those weapons has not been their outside shooting. They were 3 for 20 in Game 4, and they were 5 for 20 in Game 2. So I think their game plan going into this elimination match is going to be who's going to be able to get their offense going, who's going to be able to shoot it from deep, and if no one can, they're going to have to figure that out, and they're really going to have to take over in the paint.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Chris, there. Especially this elimination game comes down to who can play more of a complete game. it was a close game 4. It was going back and forth all game until it hit that third quarter. The Sun outscored the Lynx 23-15. The Sun defensively shut down Nafisa Collier, who went 7 minutes without scoring. And, like you said, she's one of the big players on the Lynx, one of the only few big players they have on offense. So definitely a big factor there that they were able to shut her down. But you also have to give credit to the Lynx defensively. Collier is the Defensive Player of the Year for the league. She's been great defensively. So the Lynx have to not allow that run that they gave up in the third quarter if they want to win this elimination game. And the Sun have a great player of their own in DeJohnny Carrington. She's the league's most improved player. She's averaging about 12 points per night. Her rebounds and assists have been way up from last year. But the big factor too is the Lynx play this game at home. They're hosting this elimination game. They're tied with the New York Liberty 16-4 for that home winning at home. They have the best home record along with the Liberty. So having that home advantage, I think they'll take home this game, but ultimately there can't be any big runs like there were in game 4.
Yes, and I totally agree with you there, Julia. They are going to be home, and like you said, Nafisa, she is the main player for this team. She's going to have to carry this team, put them on her back in order for them to face the Liberty. Now, going on to the next topic, speaking of the Lynx and the Connecticut Sun, who do you think will be the better matchup for Liberty going into the finals?
Yeah, I think if you're the Liberty, you kind of want the Sun in this matchup. Looking at the regular season, the Liberty beat the Sun 3 out of the 4 times they faced them, and they only beat the Lynx 1 out of the 3 times they faced them. But it is the postseason. Everyone starts at 0-0, but the Liberty have been 5-1 in this postseason. And really, it kind of just depends on if the Liberty can have that full offensive effort from Inesu and Brianna Stewart. And the losses against the Lynx were much closer than that sole loss against the Sun. So that's another big factor, is the Lynx will probably just be more of a competitive series if that's who ends up winning Game 5.
Yeah, I think the Lynx are definitely the favorite to go against the Liberty in the finals, just because I think they are so versatile on both offense and defense, especially Nafisa Collier is a perfect example of someone who can get it done on both ends. And I think if they do end up making it to the finals, she's going to play a crucial role in actually helping them win a game, win the series, because her production, she has been the most complete player in this postseason. She's been the most complete player in the league this year, arguably. But I think they have the weapons for an equally versatile Liberty team.
And my last topic I want to talk about is the 2024 WNBA champion. Who is your prediction to win it all this year, whether it's New York, Connecticut, or Minnesota?
I'm going to have to go with the Liberty. I just think that this team is so hungry for a win. They're 0-5 all-time in the finals, and they were just there last year, got sent home, and they've been as far as they can get with this team. And I think that Sabrina, I think Brianna, they are hungry for this. They look ready. And I think in either matchup against either the Sun or the Lynx that they're the favorite.
I agree with you. Fought hard all season to go 32-8, take that number 1 seed, and they really want to win it for themselves after how it ended last year and for their head coach, Sandy Brunello. So I agree.
I definitely agree with both of you. The New York Liberty have been the front runners all year, and I do think they'll take it away as well. Tuesday night will be the deciding factor on who will face off against the New York Liberty in the 2024 WNBA Finals. Game 1 will begin on Thursday night in the Barclays Center Arena. For Julia Henry and Chris Vadnais, I'm Kiera Baker. Thanks for watching Penn State Sports Night, and have a great night.
Hey everybody, thank you for tuning into this edition of Penn State Sports Night. We hope you liked that segment.
And we're sure there's other Penn State Sports Night segments that you are going to love as well. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content.
And check us out on social media for updates and behind-the-scenes clips and pics. Follow us on Twitter at PSSN TV and on Instagram at PSU Sports Night to keep up with all the action.
For all of us here at the Belisari Media Center, we are
Penn State Sports Night.